there, my name is Chelsea Kinsella, and that is Old Yeller there right in front of the camera. Get out of here. And today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about anxiety, but not... He has brand new friends over there, so we're really quite excited about them. Either way, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about anxiety, but not horse anxiety, but rider anxiety. So a lot of my clients throughout this, I guess we're not quite in summer yet, but throughout this month have been asking me to come by so that we can work on their anxiety. So how do you get past that? Past the fear of getting onto these creatures? And it's not like the fear is unfounded. Yeah, go away. Because they are big creatures and they do have their own minds, and you can die on these horses or be seriously hurt, you know? So what I'm doing with these clients is first making these horses safe. So that involves, you know, like the training and making sure that you have their eye and some other focus work and connectivity. But then the other bit with the anxiety for the rider is knowledge. You know, knowledge is power, and if you have all the knowledge or the proper knowledge, then you can't be scared because you'll know what to do. So what I do with these ladies, and a lot of them are ladies, in fact all of them right now are women, and because I think the horse world is dominated by women. But so what I do is I get them to just sit up there on their horse, and then we're going to bend the horse's head around and look at and see if you have the eye and the ear, and see if the horse is listening to you and paying attention to you. And then if the horse is, then you can move on from there. But first I make sure that they're very aware of when that horse is worried and when the horse is not worried. So for me, if a horse can't stand there when I'm getting onto mount, I have to fix that. I'm not going to go further. I'm not going to ignore that problem and jump onto that horse and continue about my way. I fix every problem that I come across. It takes maybe 10 minutes, maybe it takes half an hour, maybe it takes a whole time, I don't know. And you can't have an agenda when it comes to these horses. That's the other part that I think we as humans get caught up in. We get really anxious, about the ride and what's going to happen, if the horse is going to buck, bolt, or spook, or whatever it is. But then we also feel like we have to get that job done. Like we've got to get out there and ride that horse. We've got to go do whatever it is that we're going to do. And sometimes we have to adapt and see what the horse is doing. And if that horse is worried, like today it's very excessively windy. I'm not sure if you can tell. For me it's windy. I don't like wind. So, but it's also bothering the horses. There's a pretty good thunderstorm last night, and there's going to be another one later today. And so when I work with them, I'm going to be aware of that. And if they're having a little bit of issues with that, I'm not going to continue on. We're going to work maybe just on the ground. And you have to be okay with that mentally. But then also for your anxiety, you have to also work really hard at being in the moment where your body is. So if you're busy worrying about that future buck, bolt, rear, whatever else, then you're not here in that moment. It's the same with horses. So he's worried about wherever those guys are over there, and he's not where his body is. So that's what the other thing I do with these horses is I get them where their mind is in their body, right where their feet are. Not thinking over there by the tigers or the other horses or wherever else, right there in their body. So it's the same with humans. In order to be aware of what your horse is doing, you have to be present in that moment. You can't be thinking about the book you read, or how you're going to pay bills this month, or that girl at work, or whatever else the worry is, or the worry about that horse. Like you have to be riding the horse you have in the current moment, not the next moment, not the previous moment, but the moment that you're in. And two, so maybe you could ride really well a couple years ago or a couple days ago, but now you're scared. And that's just fine. You have to take away that pride and work on where you're at today, not yesterday and maybe not tomorrow, but right now in the moment. So I hope that helps, and that's kind of how I'm working with my ladies and getting them back to be able to ride. And you know, my 168-year-old, she hasn't trotted in 4 years on a horse. She was ready to sell her horse in January. Now she's trotting on that same fellow. Her next goal is a lope. So it's all pretty exciting, and I hope that helps. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out. I'll talk to you soon.